Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dreamify Animation. Today's story is about someone you'd never expect to become a legend in the gaming world. Not a teenager in a neon-lit basement with energy drinks stacked to the ceiling. Not a competitive esports pro with lightning reflexes, but a grandma, yes, a sweet cardigan-wearing, tea-sipping, cookie-baking grandma. Her name was Mildred Potts, though most people in her neighborhood simply called her Granny Millie. She was the type of grandma who knitted sweaters for the stray cats, kept a jar of butterscotch candies in her handbag, and waved at the mailman as though he were her grandson. If kindness were a currency, Granny Millie would have been the richest woman in the world, but technology, that was a different story. Granny Millie's relationship with gadgets was shaky at best. She still called the TV remote the channel clicker, thought emojis were hieroglyphics, and had once baked a blueberry pie directly on top of her laptop because she mistook it for a warm serving tray. Nobody trusted her with a smartphone. Not even the local library trusted her with their computers after the printer jam disaster of 2018. But Granny Millie had one weakness. She loved knitting, scarves, mittens, hats, jumpers for cats, oddly shaped sweaters that somehow had 3 sleeves. She knitted it all. One evening, after reading a magazine article titled How Seniors Can Stay Young with Technology, she decided she wanted to try something new. "I suppose I ought to keep up with the times," she said aloud to her goldfish, Mr. Bubbles. "Maybe there's a computer game about knitting. Imagine that, knitting without yarn. Oh, what a miracle." So off she went to her grandson Oliver's room, where the air always smelled faintly of pizza rolls and victory. Oliver, age 15, was deep into one of his online multiplayer battle games, headset strapped on, shouting commands like a tiny general. "Cover me. Cover me, I'm pushing mid-lane," he barked into the microphone. "Oliver dear," Granny Millie interrupted sweetly, "could you show me how to download one of those knitting computer games? I'd like to give it a whirl." Oliver, distracted, and half-deafened by his own excitement, absent-mindedly clicked on a colorful icon on his desktop. "Yeah, sure, Grandma. Here, click this. It's free. Have fun." What Oliver didn't realize was that he had just installed Eternal Siege for Battle of the Bloodfangs, one of the most chaotic, high-intensity, no-mercy online battle arena games on the internet. A place where teenagers screamed at each other, across continents, and legends were forged through pixelated explosions and strategic mayhem. Granny Millie squinted at the screen. The tutorial began with a booming narrator's voice. "Choose your champion." "Well, isn't this lovely?" she murmured. "So many knitting needles to choose from." She clicked on a towering barbarian warrior with a flaming axe, mistaking him for a knitting instructor. She named him Sir Purlington. The game loaded now. If you've never seen an elderly woman attempt to play a high-speed online battle game while believing it's a knitting simulator, you're missing out on one of life's great comedic spectacles. Granny Millie pressed buttons with the gentleness of someone dusting porcelain figurines. Yet somehow her random clicking caused Sir Purlington to swing his axe in ways that obliterated enemies left and right. "Cast your ultimate ability," shouted Oliver from across the room, not realizing his grandma was the one holding the mouse. "Oh yes, dear Granny," Millie said cheerfully. "I'll cast on right now, just like knitting." She pressed the spacebar. Sir Purlington erupted in a fiery explosion, wiping out 5 enemy players in one devastating move. The chat window exploded. XX_Shadowblade_XX. Who is this monster? Noskaplari, Oh my god, no way kitten, Destroyer 99. Grandma hacks confirmed. Meanwhile, Granny Millie just chuckled. What a satisfying stitch that was. The game awarded her a legendary pentakill. She assumed it meant she had knitted 5 sweaters at once. Oliver finally turned around, headset dangling. Wait, Grandma, are you playing? Of course, dear. This knitting game is delightful, although I don't see much yarn, just a lot of angry young men running around. Oliver stared at the screen, jaw dropped. His grandma had just carried his entire team to victory without even realizing it. He quickly opened his phone, hit record, and whispered, "The internet needs to see this." That night, Oliver uploaded the video titled, "My Grandma Just Got a Pentakill." Within hours, it was everywhere. People couldn't get enough of the sweet old lady, who thought she was knitting sweaters while single-handedly destroying professional-level players. Memes sprouted like dandelions after rain. Someone edited Sir Purlington's axe into a giant knitting needle. Another added a soundtrack of clicking knitting needles every time she scored a hit. The comments poured in. "Protect this grandma at all costs. She's the chosen one. I want her on my ranked team. Does she?" Stream. The next morning, Granny Millie woke up to find Oliver pacing the kitchen, phone in hand, babbling about trending pages and subscriber counts. "Grandma, you went viral," he shouted, waving his phone. "You're famous. Look. 500,000 views overnight." Granny Millie adjusted her glasses. Oh, heavens. I suppose people enjoy knitting more than I thought. From there, things snowballed. Oliver set up a streaming channel for her called Granny Pearl. The first live broadcast featured Granny Millie in her rocking chair, sipping chamomile tea, knitting half a sock while occasionally clicking her mouse. Somehow, in her distracted way, she still managed to dominate the battlefield. "Now, let's see," she murmured, clicking randomly. Sir Purlington leaped into the air, bringing down his flaming axe and wiping out 3 opponents in seconds. The chat exploded with cheers. "Gamer Dad, 42. She's a god, Sparkle Neko. Adopt me Grandma, Tryhard Tim. I trained for years for this game, and she just clicks tea stains on her desk Granny." Millie misread the usernames aloud as if they were her knitting circle friends. "Thank you, Sparkly Neko dear. And you too, Timothy. Don't be hard on yourself. Practice makes perfect." The wholesome energy mixed with her unintentional skill made her an overnight sensation. News outlets picked up the story. "Grandma Gamer Conquers the Internet" ran on morning TV. A popular talk show invited her to appear via webcam, but she accidentally held her knitting up to the camera the entire time, believing it was a polite way to decorate the screen. Brands started sending her gaming gear. She received a mechanical keyboard in pastel pink, which she mistook for a very noisy typewriter. Someone sent her an RGB headset that glowed rainbow colors. She thought it was a fancy halo. Still, she played. Still, she won. And still, she thought she was simply knitting sweaters online.